Hello, it's me, Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and I'm interested in getting your opinion on something, on how I'm raising my child. Not that I'm going to follow what you say, but I'm just curious what you have to say about it. Anyhow, so my wife, as I've mentioned before, is Catholic, and my daughter is currently 7 years old, and she's getting kind of past that age of believing in things like Santa Claus and the magic stuff, fairies and such. But God is becoming more real or more of a thing for her. She said to me, you got to believe in God, because if you don't believe in God, when I go up there, you're not going to see me. And it's hard to tell how serious she is. She's 7 years old, so it's... Anyways, the other day she goes, why don't you believe in God? Why don't you believe God is real? And I thought about it for a moment, didn't jump into anything, just gave some thought. So I asked her a question. Do you think Santa Claus is real? Yes. Okay. How about dragons? No. Fairies? No. Unicorns? No. So there are things that we see on TV, and the unicorns, he's into, the ponies with the show Magic something Rainbow Bright Pony, whatever. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I'm looking to you, buddy. Anyways, so she knows that unicorns aren't real. But God, currently, for her, is real. So I told her the same reason you don't believe in unicorns being real, I don't think that God is real. Because I asked her, it's like, why don't you think unicorns are real? It's like, well, I never saw one. No one ever saw one. Nobody's seen them, so they're not real. And I pointed out, you see them on TV, you've seen them in movies, they're all over the place. Why aren't they real? So she understands the concept of things not being real, but currently God to her is real. How real, it's hard to tell because her mother is constantly, well, not constantly, but she's enforcing the idea that God is real, and being Catholic, she's doing the, stuff. So I'm treading a very fine line with telling her God is just made up and letting her decide for herself. I'm also going out of my way to find books that talk about God, that explain different perspectives of God, be it Judaism or Islam or Buddhist or, any books I find in the library that deal with God, not directly, but kind of sideways. I mean, I just read one tonight about basically bagels. Little kid talking to grandfather who has a bagel shop, and people thank the grandfather for the bagels, and it's like, well, it's not me, it's God. Thank God for the bagels. And it's like, why are you thanking God for the bagels? Like, well, where do bagels come from? Like, you thought flour. Where does flour come from? Wheat. Where does wheat come from? The earth. Where does the earth come from? God. So, and then the little kid gets bagels and he gives them to the synagogue because they're Jewish, because he wants to thank God. So he gives God the bagels at the synagogue, leaves them there. They disappear, so he thinks God has taken them. Does that a few times. Grandfather follows him and finds out basically what he's doing, and finds out a homeless guy has been getting the bagels because he's hungry, and now his life is turned around and he's gonna, pay it forward, thanking God. And he's like, oh, it's God's work. It's like, and I explained this to my daughter. The grandfather is making awesome bagels, not God. You can thank God for it, but it's the grandfather. So he's basically deferring the credit due onto him to God. And little boy gives bagels to the synagogue, thinking giving to God, helps out a homeless guy, and all the credit goes towards God, not towards this little kid who's done this kind of a miraculous thing that, inadvertently helped another person. So I'm explaining these things to my daughter of why people believe in God and why they feel a need to thank God. God is super present everywhere around me. I can't get away from the concept of God. So there's no point in trying to deny God. God is there. But God, of course, is made up as far as, I'm concerned. So my daughter knows that I don't think there is a literal God, but we talk about God a lot. And my objective is God, like Santa Claus, is just something people have in their lives, celebrate, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a real, actual, factual thing. So anyways, I'm curious what you think of that plan of action. If I'm doing something that's going to screw her up, or something that's going to force her into religion, or if basically I'm leading the path of education that is going to keep religion from truly taking root. I mean, she's 7 years old now. She still has no clue what religion is. She just knows there's God and there's heaven and I'm going to go to heaven and, she's a little kid. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thanks. I'm Tommy, friendly but atheist. Subscribe.